Peace and light, that old guy, Australia. I don't do many videos, and I'm only going to do a short one this morning because I just don't have the desire to really do them anymore. But the world's a shitty place, and there's a lot of shitty shit happening, and it just depresses me enormously. And a lot of you have said you're finding it hard to keep the energy up, and it's pretty much like that. And that's the more you go down rabbit holes, the harder it gets. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. Truth is a very unsettling thing. So I just wanted to address the situation as it currently appears in Australia. We've got these marches being organised. The moment I heard them being organised and the speed at which they started, and then it got taken off the guy who originally wanted to get it going. And of course, it's become a divisive issue within the Australian population at the moment. I am surprised at how many people jumped on board so quickly and just went, yeah. A little rednecky often, but a lot of stuff happening there. And if the rally was what it was supposed to be and intended to do, which is to demand that the government, and people haven't said this, but this is what it should be, have a moratorium on immigration, a moratorium until we can decide exactly what to do. If that was the case, then I'd support that immensely. I would support that. But when you read through the comments, and I mean 80% of the comments, I'm not kidding you, 80% of the comments, they are just absolutely horrific. They're xenophobic and they're racist. I can't believe what people are saying. It's very disappointing. And the worst part is a lot of those people are part of the truther movement, and even that phrase now really demoralises me because it's been shattered beyond belief. Two wonderful people in the truther movement who I must acknowledge, who I respect enormously, and not just because of this particular issue, because of their issues over time. Michael Sims, who's done an enormous amount of organising for rallies over the last 5 years and has been involved in multiple causes. It's probably one of the great gentlemen. I met him at Sutherland at Uncle Max's book launch. And Michael and I have crossed swords a few times, but on the whole, I regard him as not just a gentleman, but a very well-educated guy, very intelligent man, and I have enormous respect for him. And Tricky, we've had a conversation, and I thank you for your comments. We will meet one day and have a face-to-face chat. Both these men I admire enormously because I've found them to be, truthful in their stance. They don't sway. Both of these men have come out and said, look, you need to be really, really wary of this that's being organised. Be careful. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. And we're trying to get to the bottom of all this. And when we do, you may find yourself a little shocked by what's been transpiring. And, of course, every day a little more comes out. I've released a video this morning, a post this morning about, or the video this morning about one of the guys who's an admin with these marches, and his private US-based company owns over 37,500 empty homes and empty land blocks in Australia. This is that's just one guy, and he's an admin behind the march. Anyway, getting away from that, I just wanted to say, look, I myself am copping a lot of flack. I've had people saying that I'm un-Australian, despite the fact that I have Dharawal heritage, that I'm a Hamas supporter. These kinds of comments are just the kind of thing that I find, they're the kind of rednecky bit that I'm referring to. And I find them to be insulting, but they're water off a duck's back to me. I really don't care, because the stupidity is on the people saying them. That's where the total ignorance lies. And people are saying, well, that war's being fought over there. We don't want them bringing it to Australia. Well, unfortunately, half of that war over there lives in Australia. They've been in Australia. They control the skies that they spray. They own your banking systems. They control farmlands and food production. They control all the media, and they live here. And they have not changed. The people who are in charge of this have never changed. And that's why I'm really curious as to why people aren't questioning, why they're just accepting and aren't questioning. I understand the whole patriotism stuff, oh my God, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. I hate that. It's so bogany. But moving right along, and I'm a sports nut, I'm just amazed that people weren't questioning. Like when this first came out, though, people just straight in. I'm like, whoa, hang on a second. You sound like the people who went and got jabs. You sound just like them. Stop. Let's just hold on for a second and see what happens here and who's behind all this. And of course, they're remaining anonymous. We just happen to know who one of them are. We've found that out. We'll find out the rest sooner or later. So I'm just asking you to question. We were told to question. Question everything. Don't just accept it. I'm all for a moratorium on immigration in Australia. And that's what I want to see in the comments. That's all I want to see. Yes, let's march for a moratorium on immigration. I'm happy to do that. Happy to do that. But the problem is it's been hijacked by the NSN, it's been hijacked by rednecks, it's been hijacked by racists and xenophobes, and the comments are just disgraceful. They're absolutely disgraceful. I'm thinking, if those comments are indicative of the people who are going to march, then they're marching not only for the wrong reasons, but their heart is not in the right place and they are being controlled. That's simply my opinion, right? That's my opinion. You need to look at things carefully. Stop racing in and just jumping on board something because it sounds good and fancy. It's like fairy floss, you know? Oh, it tastes fucking great while you're eating it, and then, of course, it disappears in your mouth and there's nothing there at all. Empty calories. So please, that's all I wanted to say. Please look at things carefully. If you're going to, make sure your heart's right. There's a wonderful biblical scripture which I'll say to you now, which says, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.